Hey guys, so I wanted to come back with a new video and a new topic, and this topic is on vulnerability. Ugh. I think a lot of people have a problem with being vulnerable, and I see it like every day. Everybody is so protected, and people don't want to open up. Uh, People don't want to even smile at you. It's like they don't even want to look you in the eyes because the eyes are it's like the key to the soul. And I'm an eye person, so for me, I'm a very vulnerable person. Well, I used to be even more vulnerable as when I was younger. And as time went by and I gained relationships and I've been hurt in relationships, um, I put up walls. And I remember one particular time in my life after I had my children, I felt really slighted. I felt like, people were always in and out of my life. I was meeting people and inviting people in my life that only wanted one-sided relationships, and I felt like I didn't want to give myself or put myself out there. But I believe vulnerability makes the most attractive person. I believe me trying to hide how vulnerable I was turned me into a hard person. It's like I was too afraid to show my softer side because I felt like I got ran over every time I did it. But I think the most beautiful thing, especially about a woman, is being vulnerable and being tender and being soft. I know in today's society we have that saying where it's like a strong woman, and I believe a woman can be strong and should be strong. And I don't think it has to be a visual. I think you can see a strong woman just by her presence and her vulnerability. Because vulnerability, it takes a lot to be vulnerable and allow people to see you. So I think it's important to ask yourself, how vulnerable am I and do I allow myself to be vulnerable to people? If you're so much in protection mode with yourself and you put up walls and you're single, how do you expect to get a mate? People smell people, and you can see them across the room, people who aren't available and who are emotionally unavailable. You could see that. And some people get trapped. They get tricked. It's like some people will show a side of kindness, and that'll be taken as vulnerability. But vulnerability means that you are open to criticism. You are open to change. You are open to new people coming in your life. You are open to helping others. Being vulnerable means allowing, people, they're going to come in and out of your lives, and you're going to get hurt. Um, we teach our kids to go out there in this world, and we teach them they're going to get hurt. And as adults, we are afraid to get hurt. So we put up these walls in order to protect ourselves from being vulnerable. And I think as a man, oh, I love to see a vulnerable man. I mean, I'm not talking too vulnerable, of course, but as a man, I love to see my husband be vulnerable to me, and I think being vulnerable for a man is going up to the woman or your significant other that you're involved with, going up to them and showing affection and complimenting them, and hey, if you do show affection and you may get rejected because maybe your spouse may be in a bad mood, and they're like, hey, I appreciate the hugs and kisses, but if I can just get a little alone time, you don't take that as, hey, I'm not going to give you any more, I'm not going to be vulnerable to you anymore. But you have to take that like, okay, I gave you my vulnerableness, and that's all I can do. Now, if a person takes advantage of your vulnerability and the fact that you are being so open, then you need to cut that person out, or you're gonna have to make that person show you that they deserve your openness. Everybody doesn't deserve your openness. I'm not saying be vulnerable to everyone, because you know there's people that will step on your heart with some high heels and eviscerate your whole entire insides because of the fact that they are just that cutthroat. You can't expose yourself to people that you know will harm you. I'm not saying that, but the people that love you the most, be vulnerable, smile, give hugs, warm embraces, um, tell them you love them. That's vulnerability. That's being vulnerable. Um, uh, Allowing people to see a softer side of you and not being embarrassed or afraid to do it. When I'm more vulnerable, I'm more me. And when I'm not, and I'm trying to protect myself, I'm not me and I'm not a happy person. So I want to encourage everyone to just dig deep down inside and just start in your home and being more vulnerable with your spouse and your children. And just, like I said, some examples are just hugs and kisses and looking each other in your eyes and letting each other see your souls, and saying the words "I love you." I know at times, living in a home with the people that you love the most and you spend the most time with, that you can get on each other's nerves. But don't take that away from each other. The most important people are the ones in your home. It starts there. Be vulnerable with each other. Show each other that you're safe with one another, okay? And so I appreciate you guys, like always, stopping by and checking out my videos. And like I always end them, if you can like, subscribe, and share, that would be greatly appreciated.